kind of watch your step all the way, as you guys know. So, everything that you see here was all built in 1924, except for the little white building over there. Now, and it was a running hotel then, as it is now. And it was all built by the Pacific Coast Mining Company, and they were mining borax. In 1942, the last train came through. 1943, they took up all the rails. So by 1945, this went from over 300 population down to 10. Now, if you look over in this direction, there's that small building through the trees with a ramp on it. That was the train depot. And it's a shame that some of the rails aren't there still. Now down here past these double doors, this is where the miners lived. It was a 30-room dormitory. There was 4 miners to each room with only a sink. There was a community toilet and shower for men and women, separate for each, of course. Over here in this wing, there was an infirmary and a morgue. In the other wing, there was a bank, a post office, a barber shop, and a little general store. So everything that anybody needed was right here, which was fortunate because in 24 there was definitely nothing else around here. Now in 1967, Marta Beckett, who was a professional ballerina from New York, was giving a tour across the United States with her husband when they had a flat tire. So while her husband was over there getting a tire fixed in our service station that was over there, Marta came over and looked inside of what was then called Courthill Hall. And that was a social hall for the town. It was also the school and the church, anything else they needed it for. Well, she looked in and seen a tiny little stage and some wooden benches and a whole lot of mud, because no one had been taking care of the levees or taking care of the place, so when it rained, the flash floods were coming through. But she was intrigued, so she went and talked to her husband. They went and found the town manager, who wasn't too hard to find with only a population of 10, and asked, how do we get this place? $45 a month and you make all the repairs. Now that was for the whole town, 268 acres. So of course they said yes. Went back to New York, packed up, came back. She's never left. She's still one of 3 residents that lives here. And she is now, as of this month, 92 years old. And one of the first things they had to do was fix the flooring because of all the water damage. It was in quite disrepair. And it is the original flooring. One of the next things they had to do was extend the stage out 10 feet and widened it because Marta needed more room to dance. Okay. Welcome to Marta's world. Painting. She made all of her own props, like that piano and the bench. She made all of her own gowns and costumes. She choreographed a lot of her own dances. She wrote the songs that she sang on stage, as well as the pantomimes that she did perform on stage. She's also a pianist and has composed her own music. Now, Marta danced on toe until she was 83 years old. She continued to perform until she was 85. She even continued and did a few sit-down shows after that. So that woman doesn't give up. Now, it took us a lot to run this place, and it took every dime they had just to get this place operational a bit again. So they always wanted to save money. So if you look up at the stage lights, you can see their coffee cans. Yeah. In fact, all the lighting along the ceiling are also just coffee cans. Now, she was fortunate enough to find these chairs out of the original theater in Boulder City. And as a fundraiser, again, for a minimum donation of $1,000, she would put your name on the arm of a chair. Every chair has a name on it. Up on the ceiling, you will see her cherubs. You'll see the 7 doves for peace. In the 4 corners are the directional way gods. And in the center, in this dome, are 16 ladies all playing vintage instruments. So that was Marta's orchestra. Now, it was painted in the shadows because that's how Marta would see it from the stage. Marta would also paint portraits of people that would donate large amounts of money. There's some painted in the hallways at the hotel. And there was a couple painted in here. Well, one of them came back and said, "Sorry, can't donate." Marta said, "Okay." But he kept coming back and bringing his friends and his lady friends. Marta didn't appreciate that very much. So that is why this judge here has a carrot for a nose and a pretty silly face. Now, if Marta wasn't up on that stage, dancing, singing, performing, she was down here painting for many years by herself, except for her 2 cats. So in this far corner on the left is Rhubarb, and in the other corner is Tuxedo. Now, Tuxedo, if you get up pretty close to Tuxedo and you take a flash picture, you're going to see their 3 kittens. So that's just a thought that you might want to do. Okay. Now we have also a small herd of 9 wild Mustangs. The horses come by just about every day. Sometimes we won't see them, but we always supply them with water. So be careful when driving around out there, because they do cross the streets whenever they wish. Now on this gold statue right here, on this scroll, written in Latin, are the words, "The walls of this theater and I dedicate these murals to the past, without which our times would have no beauty."